Welcome back to my home where we're currently 8 months into renovations, and I'm so excited to share all of the updates with you. My goal with this renovation was to preserve and enhance all of the incredible character that this home has while fixing a lot of the issues that the previous owner had ignored. In this video, I'll be giving a full breakdown of all the projects we've completed at my $1 million fixer-upper, as well as a total cost breakdown. One of my favorite features of this home is this beautiful front yard. Chicago has changed zoning regulations since the house was built and actually no longer allows homes to have front yards, so finding a house with a massive yard like this and fully grown mature trees felt really special. The first thing we did was remove a lot of the weeds and foliage to give us a blank canvas to design a new garden. Additionally, we built this patio to give us a dedicated space to hang out once the weather gets nicer. The next projects we're tackling are removing this old fence to build a new one, taking out these old pavers to build a new pathway, and finally we can start working on our Japanese-inspired garden. Before I purchased the home, I immediately knew that I wanted to alter the floor plan. The living room and the ground floor both felt really narrow and had a lot of dead space. So the first thing I did after closing was hire an architect and a structural engineer to make sure we could safely remove the old fireplace wall and the staircase in the living room. Both rooms gained about 80 square feet of usable space from removing the staircase and the fireplace wall, and it's completely changed how spacious the home feels. We're currently in the process of building this fireplace that's going to serve as one of the focal points of the home. It's one of the last major projects that I need to wrap up before I can move in, and I couldn't be more excited to finish this living room. My second major concern with this home's floor plan was that it didn't feature a true primary bedroom. You might remember from the original house tour that the bathroom was actually the largest room on this top floor. So we ended up knocking out the bathroom wall to create space for a true primary bedroom. The bedroom now feels so spacious, especially with the vaulted ceilings, and we're currently in the process of adding a picture window, which is going to give us a beautiful view. Additionally, we converted the secondary bathroom to this walk-in closet that you see now. I have another full video on this build if you want more details on how we turned an IKEA PAX wardrobe into this custom luxury closet. The last major change we've made to the top floor is replacing all of the windows in the secondary bedroom. When I first toured the home, all of the framing in this room was exposed. The previous owner had started replacing the windows but never finished the project. So seeing how good this room looks with drywall, new windows, makes me really proud of the progress we've made so far. Lastly, I'll be adding a large sliding window to this back wall, and I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with this room yet, either make it a secondary bedroom or an office, but either way, I'm loving how this room is coming together. Heating and cooling was another expensive but necessary upgrade we made because reliable AC in the summer is priceless. The previous system was over 20 years old, so to replace it, we chose the Mitsubishi Hyperheat mini split system because it offers reliable heating and cooling even in extreme temperatures, which is perfect for Chicago. Mini splits are also about 30% more energy efficient than traditional central air, and they don't require ductwork, which saved us valuable square footage when reconfiguring our floor plan. We installed 3 different heads throughout the house, an 18,000 BTU unit on the ground floor, a 12,000 BTU unit here in the bedroom, and a 9,000 BTU unit in the secondary bedroom. Overall, I've been really impressed with how well this system works, and if you're looking to replace your HVAC, I definitely recommend looking into Mitsubishi mini splits. While owning a home with so many beautiful windows has always been a dream of mine, windows and doors are also one of the most expensive components of a home to replace. So far, we've replaced 15 windows and 6 doors, and we have more custom windows in production that I plan to install in May before I move in. Most of the windows and doors in this home hadn't been replaced since 1990, so while everything is already under construction, I wanted to go ahead and replace almost all of them so don't have to worry about issues like water damage or drafty doors and windows once I move in. It's been a painful and expensive process, but I'd rather swallow the cost up front than worry about it down the road. The floors throughout the home were in pretty rough condition, so sanding and refinishing them was something we had to do. They're a mix of red oak and white oak, and I would show you more, but they're gonna stay covered until we finish the renovation. I did want to mention them though because they were one of the most expensive projects we've completed so far. Finding reliable contractors that are priced fairly is one of the most difficult parts of remodeling a home, so I'm sharing a full cost breakdown of all the projects I've completed so far to give you a comparison if you're working through a remodel of your own. There are some services I feel like I've overpaid for in this project, but overall I think I've budgeted fairly well and I'm really happy with the results. I had no idea how much work it was going to be GCing a single family home, but I'm really happy with the progress we've made so far, and I'm optimistic that I'm gonna be able to move in within the 1-year mark. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you guys so much for all the support. As always, it's what allows me to take on projects like this, and I can't wait to share the end results with you soon.